We are missing May and Sibo.
Excellent. And it has begun.
I'll put another message on the board group.
Do you see something?
And from our team, we're missing Sanele.
Okay.
Can you see the viewers?
Yeah, I can. Can you, the volume?
And from our team, we're missing Sanele.
What is it?
Victor Data's here, MRS.
There's a bit delay.
No, it's fine.
Can you see the viewers?
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em a shot, boy, I'm long range.
Welcome to the 38 Citywide Tournament! Let's make some noise! Alright, y'all, I'm bringing the energy from LA.
Alright, again, I'm Coach Scoop. I'm from Detroit.
Taking the West, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me
My name is Raven, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And I'm here in South Africa to play in the Citywide Tournament.
Citywide has been absolutely amazing. The atmosphere has been absolutely electric.
Like with the amount of energy, the amount of people, the music, the ice cream, everything, it's just amazing.
It's actually good getting to know everyone, other people from different races and different countries.
Spreading that Ubuntu that Nelson Mandela stood for and what sport can do to change the world.
The biggest takeaway from today is don't judge people based on what they look.
It's very nice. It's just making new friends and getting to know everyone and having fun and throwing a ball and winning.
Even though we ain't make playoffs, it's all good. I was out there cooking, step three, floated, yeah.
The key role and the message that we're using is glorious. Is that sport has the power to change the world.
I meet a lot of new people, a lot of new faces, things I can talk about.
And I had an amazing time here. I learned so much about the culture, about the people, about its history. I experienced the current culture, its current people and its current,
Players, South Africa, and everyone that made it for the American people to come for the trip here. Shout out to PeacePlayers South Africa.
Aiming for greatness to settle in. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking the West, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for making time to join us on a Tuesday evening for our annual general meeting. Please note that this meeting, it is virtual. It is broadcasted live via our social medias on YouTube, where people will also get an opportunity to ask questions. Most importantly, please note that the meeting will be recorded just for our records to take the minutes. And if you carrying on to stay in the meeting, we will assume you are giving us permission to continue to record the meeting. As you enter, please write your full name and last name. This is for attendance register for the AGM. All of the information that you share with us is kept confidentially. It's not going to be shared publicly as per the Copy Act. And please note, if you have any questions during the meeting, please, you can write them directly on the chat, or know that at the end, or towards the end of the meeting, once all the reports are done, we'll give you a moment joining us across our social media platforms. You may ask questions and then we'll try to attend to those. And any question we don't cover, we'll do a follow-up after the meeting. So welcome everyone. I would like to invite Mrs. Rita Misraki, who is our board chairperson, to officially open the meeting.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rita Mizrahi. I am the very proud board chairperson of PeacePlayers South Africa, and I'm ably assisted by my board. Per our constitution, we have reached a quorum of members, and I just formally declare this meeting open. First order of business is the minutes of the previous meeting. These have been distributed to our board members and are available on request. So please let us know whether you'd like the previous board minutes. I'd like to move at this point for the board minutes of the 2023, excuse me, minutes of the AGM meeting to be accepted. Can I get a second, please?
I second.
Thank you so much.
I second.
Thank you so much. Any objections? There being none, the motion is carried. While I'm busy speaking, I'd like the opportunity to state my board person's address. And here goes. Good evening, everyone. PeacePlayers family. It's lovely to be here and lovely to have you all. Such a pleasure to see all of you and welcome you on behalf of the board as well. In the financial year under review from July 2023 to June 2024, we've done incredible work with the help of our parent organization, PeacePlayers International, which has significantly recovered from its financial troubles from last year, restructuring and helping create opportunities for international funding for us and funding us more substantially once again. They've also assisted us in obtaining funding from the Soul Foundation in California, who has significantly helped us in Peace League Games. The Peace League Games puts kids from different communities and backgrounds together to play and learn from each other. This is now again possible. These programs had to cut back significantly in 2023 due to budget constraints, and we are so grateful that we're once again able to do this amazing work in bridging divides between different cultures, communities, and mindsets. PeacePlayers International have also been working very hard, and I'm very proud to report that they have recovered significant challenges, enabling their wonderful support. Even while economic downturn is still experienced worldwide, continuing to negatively influence donor behavior, by cutting back on their CSI spending, PeacePlayers International has also helped us approach other international funders with ongoing success and hard work from our team in building relationships. While I'm busy speaking, I'd like the opportunity to state my board person's address. And
Sorry, Rita, we're not able to hear you right now.
Yeah, I think I lost connection, or Rita lost connection.
I think she's dropped off. We'll wait. Perhaps give her a minute to get back in. If she's unable to get back in, then I can carry on with my address and Rita can pick up afterwards. I'll just give her a minute.
Budget constraints, and we are so grateful that we're once again able to do this amazing work in bridging divides between different cultures, communities, and mindsets. PeacePlayers International has been working very hard, and I'm very proud to report that they have recovered significantly.
I'm not seeing her coming back in. No, she's not here. So, hello everyone. I think, let me turn my camera on. I'm sure Rita will be back with us shortly. Sorry about that, the joys of technology. One of these days we will be having our AGM in person again, and we look forward to that. I will finish my address, and then if Rita's back, I will hand back to her, and then she can hand it on to Anisha, who will follow me. So hopefully you all know me. I'm the Executive Director of PeacePlayers, and just really delighted to welcome you all to another of our AGMs. It's a little later than usual on our calendar, and it certainly has been a busy year, so there's a lot to report on. Just for your reference, you will find my letter in the annual report on page 2, I believe. I thought that for those of you less familiar with the history of PeacePlayers, I would just retrace very briefly the background of the organization. I know not everyone is familiar with it. For some, it's an old story, and for others, it's something that they're not familiar with. We've been going a very long time. The whole PeacePlayers network globally was established right here in Umlazi in 2001 by two very big-hearted brothers from the United States, Sean and Brandon Tui, who some of you know. And they held a simple vision of introducing basketball as a bridge to connect kids in and between areas of conflict. Ever since then, we have been working hard to utilize the sport of basketball as a catalyst for change in South Africa, and we continue to work to bridge divides and to create shared spaces amongst children and youth of different races, across socioeconomic backgrounds and communities. And we have now become a global network. We now work in collaboration with sites in the United States, Northern Ireland, and the Middle East. In our region, in regions such as South Africa, the sport for development sector is not always the highest development priority. And that certainly makes our job difficult in identifying and maintaining long-term funding streams. And our funding is always competing with many, many other needs in South Africa. During the financial year of this report, that's July 2023 to June 2024, it's always a reminder that there's this lag in reporting. So this is reflecting on the previous financial year, which ended in June 2024. We've been very blessed to have the support of wonderful South African-based donors, including the Victor Dates Foundation and Beyersdorf Lydia. And an incredible boon, which Rita had a chance to briefly mention before she dropped off the call, was successfully securing multi-year support for our programming from the Sol Foundation. And so now Sol Foundation is collaborating across 3 sites in the PPI network, South Africa, Northern Ireland, and the Middle East. And this has been not only a financial security for us, but it's also a really considered endorsement of the value that we're adding in the sport for development space. Moving a little forward in time, towards the end of 2024, we were delighted to reinitiate our partnership with the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. And although their funding hadn't come into play yet at the start of this financial year we're reporting on, it came into play in FY24, and we will report on that in our next AGM. I'm sure I really don't need to remind all of those on this call that young people in South Africa continue to face enormous challenges. We all are more than familiar with the extremely high rates of unemployment and poverty. And of course, the legacy of apartheid still leaves imprints. Over 50% of the kids in our country are considered vulnerable through one or more factors combined, not only poverty, but things like orphanhood, separation from biological parents, disability. And there are, of course, many other factors in addition to those that can derail a child's trajectory towards a life that has abundance. And any parent wants a child's life to have abundance, a life in which she or he has the resources to build livelihoods for themselves and also to make positive contributions to their communities. We cannot, of course, address all those factors at PeacePlayers in the work that we do, but we can offer our children and youth sustained mentorship alongside life skills curricula. We work to build their confidence, self-awareness, relationship skills, and our real aim is to enable them to become leaders of themselves and others on a transformative path in the country. PeacePlayers has what we call a leadership pipeline approach, and this is really a key part of what makes our work impactful. We believe it also sets us apart from other non-profits who work with young people, as our work is deep and it's also long-term. There's a continuity within and between all PeacePlayers programming so that interventions offer support to children and youth as they develop. So what does that look like in terms of our final report? You will also see those laid out, but I'll offer a quick overview of the programming, just its structure and how it's laid out, and then later on Anicia on our programs team will report on specific highlights. So you will see on page 3 that our core programming, if you like, our maths programming is our life skills through basketball program, and we work here with ages 9 to 18 who are in primary school and high school. We consistently work year on year to reach about 500 children in this program. And the nuts and bolts of that program are twice weekly sessions throughout the school year. This sustained support is crucial for ongoing mentorship. As children's lives change, as they grow older, their life challenges change. And this enables them to build skills that become life-changing in the longer term. One real testament to the power of our programming, I think, is at least 80% of our participants in any given year choose to continue with the program year on year. And I think that's a real testament to the value they attribute to our work in their lives. We're reaching currently children in schools and communities of the Greater Durban area. In Mlazi, I already mentioned, Verulam, Skopera, Mulweni, Wentworth, Lamontville, Central Durban, and also children and youth in the Upper Highway area. We strive to ensure that the children we reach represent the racial dynamics of South Africa, as well as speak to the diversity of socioeconomic settings. The core program participants also take part in what we call Peace League games, which not only celebrates basketball. Many of you are familiar with the Peace League. Rita also mentioned them earlier, and Sol has leaned in to make those happen again. And these games offer interaction with the children from cultural communities that they would seldom, if ever, have the opportunity to interact with. And then another key pillar of our programming is our leadership development program. We work with a group of 20 to 30 high school leaders, 14 to 18 years roughly. And these are young people who have shown their dedication to our core values, which are equality, peace, leadership. And they've proved themselves to be agents of change in their own and in other communities. So they are selected for additional support to equip them with additional leadership and team building skills that they can use throughout their lives. And it also provides these young people the opportunity to interact with peers from other PeacePlayer sites, in other words, the global sites. One way this happens is through global exchanges and our global friendship games, which many of you are familiar with. And in these, the youth from the different sites, from all their array of social contexts, learn from each other's culture and one another's experiences while they are being equipped to become leaders and advocates for peace in their communities and well beyond their communities. Looking to a little older, in our Leadership for Life program. We have 20 to 25 successful candidates year on year who are trained further as coaches. They're supported with a stipend as they further develop their mentorship skills. They also have the opportunity to give back to the communities. They are absolutely key to the facilitation of our life skills and LDP programming throughout the year. Also in our programming for older participants, depending on resources, we at times design and offer additional ad hoc projects and programs. And these often take place in collaboration with other international sites. And that adds an additional layer of learning and color to these young people's experience. To my PeacePlayers team, including our dedicated coaches, for whom doing the work we do is a life mission. It's not just a job. As we move into the calendar year 2025, I want to especially thank our board members for their ongoing guidance, support, their active interest in the organization and its work. We welcome a new treasurer this year, Ntando Pewa, who's on the call and who you will hear from shortly, who has already shown much appreciated commitment and attention to detail in his guidance on the finance side. Thank you, Ntando. In closing, I also want to offer sincere gratitude to Rita Mizrachi. I hope she is on the call again. Rita, thank you for giving your unwavering support since 2017, acting in the role of secretary initially and taking up the reins as chair in 2019. Sadly, Rita has served a maximum allowable time on the board in terms of the PPSA constitution. But as we say, once a peace player, always a peace player. And we know, and she's already promised that she will be a lifelong cheerleader and supporter. Thank you, Rita. We are very relieved indeed to have an experienced and committed, welcome person in Maimuna Salim, who has graciously agreed to take over the chair.
Recording in
and she
progress.
brings diverse experience and has served on our board already since 2020. Thank you, May, so much for your willingness to step up. And I believe Rita, hopefully when she returns, will say a little bit more about that. I will pause there and I will now hand over to Eunicia to pick up the reins for the program report. Over to you, Nish.
Thank you very much, Alison. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elisa Chibanda. I am the City Area Coordinator, and I will be sharing the program's highlights and reports for our financial year period, July 2023 to June 2024. First of all, thank you to everyone that has joined us this evening from various platforms. Your attendance is highly appreciated. Before I move forward to our program's report, I'd first like to thank our program team for the wonderful work and dedication towards our program in ensuring that our program runs smoothly in the different communities that we find ourselves in and within the lives of our youth and children that are impacted by our program. Just as Alison has touched, I'm just going to quickly drive through them because it's part of programming just to mention the different areas that we work in, including the different participants that work within our areas. First of all, at PeacePlayers South Africa, we work in 7 different areas, such as Scottburg, Umlazi, Lamourville, Winsford, City, Molweni, and Cottonlands. Within these different areas that we work in, we run different programs, such as our Core Life Skills through Basketball, which is our primary and high school program for the ages of 9 to 18. And then we have our Leadership Development Program, which are from the ages of 14 to 18, which includes 30 of our high school participants who have shown their dedication to our core values and have become peace leaders in our communities. Last but not least, we have our Coaches Development Program, which runs from the ages of 20 to 25, whereby we have our coaches within the 20 to 25 schools that we work in, who are graduates of our high school program, who also serve as leaders and mentors to our youth and children in their communities and facilitate life skills through basketball. Just the highlights that I've touched on. Now I'll be diving in our program's highlight for the year. Throughout the year, we have excelled and have experienced incredible highlights and stories that are touched. It'll be unfair for us not to share them to everyone else. Looking at Umlazi and the heartwarming display of cultural connection, a group of global exchange participants recently led a thrilled basketball session at Suguma Primary School in Umlazi. The enthusiastic visitation, hailing from diverse nations, shared their passion for the sports and eager local participants. As their guided basketball drills and life skills, cultural diverse and bridging connections, the team worked to develop their sessions and ran in Umlazi. The Umlazi school community beamed with pride and gratitude, thanking the global ambassadors for their infrastructure, energy, and variable skills. The exchange has opened our eyes to new possibilities, said the school rep, Mr. Kanya. We're forever grateful for the unforgettable experience, for the friendship flow, on and off the field. Just to also touch on some great highlights that we've experienced. In Scottburg, the new PeacePlayers program had begun and went from strength to strength ever since it started. With a wonderful coach that was placed there on duty, Coach Pilani Zondi, drived and constructed the state-of-art basketball culture and the court, in his relentless advocacy and overwhelming passion, ignited by incredible transformation, taking basketball from an unfairly taking basketball from an unfairly low level to an extreme level that it is today. As the program flourished, so did the participants' skills, confidence, character, and this is a testament of Zondi's exceptional coaching and mentorship skills. Within the area of Umlazi, our coaches program also flourished, which Coach Lunsani Mjali, who coached the Umlazi community team, brought together the participants as well as other stakeholders to repaint the basketball court at Sobezela Primary School. Drawing with their own resources, they came together to revamp the resources that is not only for the school, but also for the PeacePlayers participants. Collaborating with school representative Mr. Sandile, they transformed the court surface and it became a safe place for multiple sports. This selfless investment boosted this team's moral and community pride, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to the PeacePlayers mission. Moving on, we also have Coach Tandega Mhlongo, who made history by leading their team to victory in the Junior NBA and EBA League, capping off an extraordinary season which converted her to be the coach of the season. Coach Tandega's exceptional leadership and dedication to her players' growth impelled her team to success. Her Junior NBA championship win remarks her first ever title as a female head coach in the league. Tell me about history being made. Moving on to the Lamontville area. Over the past years, the program in Lamontville has made significant strides in the community development and improving sports infrastructure. A significant milestone was then painting the basketball court at Kwatele, which was achieved in collaboration with Chatsworth municipalities. These achievements are testaments of collaborative effort by the community, local authority, and sponsorship, demonstrating the power of partnership in also driving positive change. In Molweni, our Molweni High School team partnered with Imvemlwanelwe Africa, and they hosted a career guidance session for their students. This event was supported by the none other coach, by Coach Pamandla Sosibo, an alumni of PeacePlayers program, and a local figure known for his commitment to community service. His participation and the Boys to Men initiative is a testament of his dedication, mentoring young men in the Lower Molweni, guiding them towards responsible adulthood. Early in the year, in April 2024, Molweni Bazamile Primary School saw an importance in developing a sponsorship from the National Lotteries for multi-purpose basketball courts. This generous support not only enhances the school sports facility, but also reflects on how far external investment goes in amplifying educational and recreational resources for our under-resourced community. Moving on to also highlight a few highlights in the coaches development program, we saw in June, Asagai Primary School, led by Coach Tandega Tusi, was selected by the KZN Basketball Association to coach the KZN Basketball Under 18 female team, who participated in the Basketball South African National Tournament in Johannesburg from the 1st to the 9th of July 2024. I mean, if we're all in person, I would be quiet for a round of applause for this. Tandega also won Female Coach of the Year for the season for the eThekwini Development Under 13 League for the eThekwini Basketball Association. We also highlight Coach Duduzo Susivo as one of a shining example of the opportunity seized that have been facilitated through the exposure of PeacePlayers. He recently had an opportunity to work at the FIBA as a referee at a national level in the National Basketball League and the Wheelchair Basketball League, showcasing the growing recognition of his talents. These achievements also reflect on Lamontville and Wentworth's impact on the community, fostering a positive environment for the sports and the personal development. So far, I hope you can see that PeacePlayers will not only develop participants, but we also develop change within our community through our leadership, through our leaders such as our coaches and our high school community team. Moving on to Durban City, one thing that happened that was so remarkable was having, ever since 2015, Berea Primary School from the city has never traveled away for any game. So in 2024, they traveled for their first Peace League game in the rural area of Molweni, marking it a significant step beyond their unusual boundaries. The school had been hesitant to travel to places like Molweni and Mlazi due to their historical taxi violence over territorial routes, which though resolved many years ago, still left the school's governing body a bit apprehensive about safety. Typically, they traveled was limited, and nearby locals such as Wentworth city area, as well as Lamontville. But the area coordinator, Anisha Chibanda, bridged the gap by engaging directly with the school's representative, advocating for the journey and emphasizing that the Peace League goal was to foster connection between the children from diverse backgrounds. With that happening, Berea did not only travel to Molweni, but also travel to different areas after that. We're closing off with the city development. Our coaches have excelled extremely well. First of all, we see a person like Patrick Malucci, who was our Rookie of the Year and has brought positive transformation in his commitment to the community. Following his triumph in leadership by winning the 35th citywide tournament, Patrick has taken on a new role as a coach at Eddington Primary School. Here, he continues to develop the leadership skills by integrating a life skills curriculum through basketball, effectively using the sport to impact initial life lessons to the upcoming generation. Last but not least, a touching story that we might all learn from is our very own Minent Mbandra, who was our very first year coach back in 2024. She is no stranger to the program. As a former participant of Lamontville, she attended the Lead for Peace camp in Cyprus in 2017. Now, as a coach, she's gained confidence in leading basketball and life skill session, giving back to her community in some way the program once supported her. A major highlight of her journey was coaching her team for the very first time to the Peace League victory. Minente describes her coaching experience as humbling, exciting, insightful, and developing. She said, seeing my participants enjoy our session has been truly rewarding. We've collaborated to create a positive plan that suits their need, blending different approaches and ideas. She said, and I quote, I've been amazed by how our games and activities have helped them develop important skills like teamwork and perseverance. I'm also grateful for the support from my senior colleagues who have guided and encouraged me and have been a vulnerable initiative. Initially, without doubt, the challenges of working with younger people are very draining, but Minentle has discovered that her unique perspective and life experience were the key to connecting with inspire and to connecting and inspiring the youth. This is a journey that has been so transformative personally and professionally, she says, and she is eager to continue exploring new avenues of growth in her coaches and mentorship career. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the program's report. If you'd like to read more, please refer to page 8 and to page 8 to 15 of our annual report of our annual magazine, and I'll pass it over to Nolutando Msweli. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nolutando Msweli, the Programs Manager at PeacePlayers, South Africa. I will be giving you a few highlights on the Leadership Development Program and cross-cutting events and tournaments. Alison and Nish have stated a bit about what the LDP is about, but for me, I'm going to dive into the actual highlights. This year has been a transformative one for our Leadership Development Program. We introduced a new guiding framework designed to ensure that our participants are not just players, but leaders, advocates for equity, and change makers in their community. Through this approach, we are equipping young people with the skills to lead, resolve conflicts, and create positive change in their personal lives and beyond. So one of the most remarkable highlights for me for this year was witnessing our participants grow in confidence and self-assurance. I think many of our leaders, especially the girls, are finding their voices, they're expressing themselves very boldly, and are excelling both on and off the court. Their confidence isn't just visible in leadership only, but it's also translated into the basketball skills. They've improved a lot on that, and it shows that personal growth and sport development go hand in hand. We also saw the impact of our program firsthand through the Northwood boys, as they credited PeacePlayers for their developments in leadership and basketball, which contributed to their big championship win at St. John's. And it's these moments that affirm the real change that's happening through the LDP. I think beyond our local sessions, we engaged our participants beyond just the local aspect. They were partaking in virtual exchanges with Northern Ireland and the US in preparation for the Global Exchange Games, as Alison mentioned. Initially, there was a hesitation in engagement, but I think through the work that we did through the sessions, the in-person sessions, it quickly turned into newfound friendships, challenged stereotypes, and they built cross-cultural connections. I think the mindset shift in just a few months was a true testament to the program's impact. Another exciting milestone for the LDP was when 3 of our participants were selected to be in the under-18 KZN squad, which Nish alluded to. That happened in Joburg, which is Zenam Ndaba, Anthony Delfava, and Ayanda Mota. I think provincial level is a significant achievement, and we are incredibly proud of you. And it's good to see that your hard work is being recognized beyond PeacePlayers. Lastly, our LDP have traveled and competed and built really strong connections with our core programming teams. These experiences have strengthened their confidence and resilience, especially the boys, as they've won majority of their games. So their confidence was boosted a lot. But to bring it to life, I'm going to share a story of a young man named Anthony Dalva. He was born in Durban, Anthony spent most of his childhood in Europe before returning home in 2016. He joined PeacePlayers because he was inspired by his brother Nathan, who's a former LDP participant also. And ever since then, he's just flourished. He was chosen as the under-18 provincial player. He's the first team basketball captain, and he's an aspiring South African team player. And he attributes his growth in confidence and leadership to PeacePlayers, and hopes to further his dreams studying in the US and continuing to meet and learn from people and share his experiences. Those are the highlights for the LDP. And thank you to the two LDP coaches, Tandega Tusi and Tandega Mhlongo, who have continuously committed themselves to these sessions. Thank you to the ACs for your continued commitment, and shout out Sfiso Mtembu. You're no longer with us, but thank you for your contribution too. And now I'll move on to the cross-cutting events. So beyond our regular programming, PeacePlayers continues to create exciting opportunities for our participants through various tournaments and special events. These platforms are essential at building confidence, fostering competition, and exposing our youth to new opportunities. Was our participation in the 31st Valfala tournament. It's one of the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. It welcomed about 30 teams in 2 divisions, and our all-star girls got to play in this and compete at a high level. And I think for me, this tournament goes beyond the game. It's a chance for girls to network, showcase their skills, and have the possibility of being seen by university scouts or other high school scouts. Our boys also got a fair share on the big stage. They also were part of the Kersey tournament, which saw 48 teams in 3 divisions. And our all-star team got to battle with the best of the best. Your Hilton College, your Michael House, your St. John's College. I think tournaments are very critical for the advancement in skills, confidence, and also just being able to provide that exposure for our players to be seen by other high schools or varsities, so they can get better education and sporting opportunities. Another major event was the Girls Festival, Girls Basketball Festival, which is a safe space for young girls to grow in sport and leadership. It was held on the 26th of August at Howard College, and there were about 200 participants. It was sponsored by Nivea and Nivea's son. The Girls Fest is not only about basketball. I think it's mainly about empowering young women and giving them the confidence to just occupy spaces of influence, gain that confidence for exposure, confidence building, and future opportunities, ensuring that our participants continue to grow as leaders, athletes, and change makers. So thank you to all the partners, coaches, supporters, our participants who make these experiences possible. Thank you. I'll pass it on to Undando.
Thank you, Sandro. Greetings, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well this afternoon. My name is Ntando Pewa, and I'm the board treasurer of PeacePlayers South Africa. Before I start, those who are tracking with us, I'll be covering the financial.
Recording in progress.
1,287. As we can see, it is evident that a majority of our assets are financed through our accumulated surplus that we've built up over the year. And as you can see as well, if you assess the